Before you wanted to have aura, you wanted to be wavy. Coming straight out of Harlem, Max had a sound and energy that didn't just grab your attention, it hypnotized you. While the diplomats, Cameron, Jim Jones, Jules Santana, were running New York, Max was the secret weapon bubbling under the surface. He wasn't rapping like everyone else. He was singing his pain, laughing through it, floating over beats like he was half poet, half rock star. The vocals were raw. He couldn't sing like Whitney Houston, but it worked for the streets. In 2008 and 2009, if you were anywhere near the tri-state, you couldn't avoid MaxB. His melodic hooks ran the streets, from Touched It in Miami to Blow Me a Dub to countless Dipset and mixtape collaborations, such as Jim Jones's Baby Girl and G's Up. That melodic, almost drunk-sounding swagger Jim Jones became famous for, that was straight from Max. He literally changed how New York rappers approached music. Wiz Khalifa would later credit Max as one of his biggest influences, saying the laid-back sing-rap flow came directly from him. When people talk about having aura, they mean that unspoken confidence, that unexplainable energy that walks into the room before you do. Max was that energy. Almost like the Harlem version of Cat Williams. Slick, witty, charismatic, hilarious, and impossible to ignore. He'd light up a DVD interview like a comedy special and then drop a verse that made you feel like you were in the penthouse with him. Max wasn't just rapping. He was creating a lifestyle. The long hair, the shades, the jewelry, the women, the confidence. All of it formed a persona nobody could imitate. And from that came the birth of a movement. He gave us a word that still lives on nearly 20 years later, wavy. It was a manifestation of everything you wanted to be. It meant staying fly, staying smooth, no matter what chaos surrounded you. Back then, if you logged onto MySpace or AIM, half the usernames had wavy or ow in them somewhere. That's how influential this man was. Everyone swore they were wavy. But then, in 2009, everything changed. MaxB was sentenced to 75 years in prison for conspiracy to commit murder, kidnapping, and armed robbery. He maintained his innocence, but the system hit him with everything it could. It was heartbreaking for fans. He was just starting to find his mainstream moment, and then he was gone. But yet, through it all, the aura didn't fade. While behind bars, his sentence got reduced multiple times through appeals and good behavior. And every summer, his team would say the same thing online. Max coming home next year. It became a ritual, a yearly spark of hope for fans who never forgot him. Even while serving time, he was still being name-dropped by rappers, featured in fashion drops, and quoted on social media. You can't kill the wave, baby. A big reason Max stayed relevant was because of his brother in music, French Montana. Before French was going platinum, he was out in the Bronx shooting Cocaine City DVDs, and Max was always right there with him. Together, they became known as the Coke Wave. That duo had a chemistry that was raw and untouchable. They blended Harlem Flash with Bronx hustle, and their sound was unmatched. When Max went to prison, French never let his name die. Every interview, every album, he reminded the world who started the wave. It was loyalty, plain and simple. And in a business where people forget you the second you're gone, French kept the door open for Max's return. Even while incarcerated, Max handled his career like a CEO. From the cell, he was negotiating music releases and brand collaborations, like the Supreme capsule that paid homage to his image. He was dropping phone-recorded freestyles, giving interviews, and staying connected with his fan base. That kind of consistency is what separates the legends from the lost names. Most artists fade when they can't be seen. Max became even bigger in absence. He became folklore, a name the new generation would hear about through older cousins or YouTube rabbit holes. He was proof that even when life locks you down, you can still shine. Fast forward to 2025, after nearly 16 years, the prophecy finally comes true. MaxB is free. The streets are celebrating like it's 2008 again. Clubs are ready for appearances. Every DJ is pulling up his old records. Every blog is reposting the classics, and fans are ready for the wave to return stronger than ever. Even the Jets won in his attendance. But here's the thing. Max isn't the same man who went in at 31. He's older now, wiser, calmer, but that essence is still there. He's a walking lesson in resilience, proof that charisma, confidence, and authenticity can outlast anything, even prison walls. MaxB's influence runs deep. Every melodic street rapper today owes him something. From A-Boogie to Fetty Wap to Rod Wave, the DNA traces back to the Silver Surfer. He was one of the first to mix melody with machismo, to make being gangsta sound gorgeous. The man who taught Harlem how to stay wavy through the storm, the man who turned pain into melody and swagger into art, he's back. And the world's about to remember what aura looks like. MaxB didn't just survive his fall. He surfed through it. The wave never dies.